Okay. So previously we've been looking in the initial writing of our and drafting of our books, and that should pretty much be done by now. Your book should be a nice, solid, complete draft with all the basic information you want in there. We've been revising, adding in different types of technical vocabulary, adding in some quotes and additional research to really make ourselves sound like experts in our writing, and basically just finding different ways to improve it through the checklist. Today, I'm going to teach you how writers often look at other writers, not just for information, but for how the information is presented. In other words, how the text is structured. So what I have here, I know it's kind of challenging to read here, but what I have here is a page from a nonfiction book called The Enemies of Slavery by David A. Adler. So it has nothing to do with the topic I'm writing about of the flipped classroom. But what I notice here is that it talks about like this person, and it has their dates of their life. And then here it has a quote at the beginning of the page, a quote from that person. I thought, well, that's a good way to get my readers maybe hooked or interested by providing an interesting quote. So what I've done is I went and I researched flipped classroom quotes, and I found this article that I actually got 2 quotes that I think I can add in here from people who are experts in the field. I found this one here. It says, the flipped classroom isn't a methodology, it's an ideology. And that is from Brian Bennett. So I am going to put that quote at the top of a section. I'm thinking the flipped classroom isn't a methodology, it's an ideology. So I'm thinking that should be right near the start of my book. So I'm going to put that actually at the very first chapter, responding to flipped videos. I could even maybe put it above the table of contents. I'm going to put it here just because I don't know if that's appropriate to put it there. So I'm going to put it here, put the quote here. Let's see. I want to keep it. I'm going to put it in italics. And we don't need it bold. And I'm going to change the font to, let's say, 12. And the color seemed to be the wrong color. Let's change that to the black. There we go. All right. So the flipped classroom isn't a methodology, it's an ideology. And I come back here, and that was said by Brian Bennett. So I'm going to put Brian Bennett's name with a little dash next to that. Brian Bennett, B-R-I-N-B-E-N-N-E-T-T. Good. So I have his name here, and I'm going to center this in the page. And so I have this little quote: the whole classroom isn't a methodology, it's an ideology. And that kind of starts out my book, getting people to think about that. The second quote I found in here was one from someone who I look up to, and it says, as soon as Sale Khan mentioned teachers flipping the classroom in his 2011 TED Talk, quote, let's use video to reinvent education. So I just like the title of that TED Talk, let's use video to reinvent education. So I'm going to just quote that. And I know that's not something he actually said, so I'm going to kind of phrase that a little bit different. Let's use video to reinvent education. Also, I noticed there's a link here. So this text itself uses a link to put this. So I want to reference this TED Talk talking about using video to reinvent education. And I think that would fit well in my video as well. So I come down here. Oh, it looks like I messed up the page structure of this a little bit. So let's see if I can. That might be better. Let's see. Making the videos. So I think that would fit under making the videos, and I would put that here. And let's use video to reinvent education. And this is the title of Sale Khan's 2011 TED Talk. Oops, 2011 TED. I'm not sure if T is capitalized in TED Talk. Let me check the original text. TED Talk, yes, a T is capitalized in a TED Talk. It's an official thing. If you're not sure what this is, I'm going to put it in my bibliography. And so I'm going to actually put this link here in my bibliography, and you could be able to click on it, and you can actually watch that video too. I think I have seen it. So anyways, this is a link. I can keep the link in here, but I don't think I'm going to. I just want to put this in italics, center it. Let's change it to the same font I had for the other quote. And let's make the text all black. There we go. So the link is still there if you were in this document, but when we publish our texts, we are going to actually be publishing them by printing them and gluing them in an actual book. So a link won't work. Yeah, I don't want them. I didn't have the other one bold. So I just added the same. I used the strategy from the text down here of the quote. And I started a couple sections by starting it with a quote. I kind of started those chapters just to provoke your thinking and to get people to think and get my reader a little more interested. Now under here, I'm going to go to my bibliography. I'm just going to make a list. Again, copy this link and paste it, and used for quotes to start the first 2 chapters. And what I could do is actually continue looking for quotes and just make that a theme throughout my text. I mean, I only have a couple of 4 chapters I'm going to be making, so I could put a quote at the beginning of each one, kind of about the flipped classroom. I could either look more in this article, see if there's more quotes, or I could go and find another article. Or I could even just quote the article maybe, so like that. So this seems like a good thing to help me out here. And again, the purpose of this lesson is to get you to know that you need to look at mentor texts and then take a structure that you would use in your own writing. So the first step is to find a text. And I literally did it with a text that was completely unrelated. So pick up any informational book and look at how it's structured and say, oh, could I use that in my book? Oh, yeah, I could. So then find a way to do it. Or sometimes the answer is no, I don't think I could use that structure. Maybe you can use the quote. Maybe you can go find another informational text. We'll have plenty in class for you to look through and see if you can find a structure that you could add to your own information book and enhance it and make it more like a published author's work.